Okay, wonderful. Thank you guys again so much for being here. I have started each one of these candidate forums just reading a little thing. And it's why does the library do this? So we sponsor candidate forums because we believe people have a right to know what their candidates for public office say about issues that affect our communities. We provide the forums as a public service, and we are privileged and proud to play a role in the democratic process. Our candidate forums allow those seeking public office to express their views openly so community members can understand their positions and make informed voting choices. So I'm going to start each of you off with giving an introduction to yourselves. And I've started with the first name on the ballot. So John, could you go ahead and give us an introduction?
Yes, my name is John Stephany. I live on Mason Street and my wife is Eileen. I have a son, Curtis, and two stepsons, JJ and Gary. Have lived and worked in the city of New Holstein for about 58 years. Went to Holy Rosary, New Holstein High School. Worked at American Chromalloy. Ameriquip bought American Chromalloy out, and my final stage was at the Tecumseh. Over the years, I've worked in part-time places as I was working full-time, so hard work is not unusual for me. And I presently am retired, and I am the breakfast cook at the Badger Den in Kiel.
Great, thank you so much, John. Jean, same to you, introduction.
Good evening. I'm g.woelfel, and I grew up south of New Holstein on a farm, and I've always lived in the New Holstein area. I left New Holstein to go to college, and after graduating from UW-Oshkosh with an accounting degree, I returned to New Holstein. Volunteering and being involved in my community has always been very important to me. I started volunteering when I was in high school for the New Holstein Fireman Picnic, started in the brat stand and moved over to the fried chicken or the charcoal chicken. So I've been doing that for many years. Another community involvement I'm with is the Community Chest. I'm currently treasurer for the Community Chest. Something else I've been involved with is Big Brothers and Big Sisters. When I was matched, my little brother was 9 years old. When he graduated from high school, he graduated from the program. Currently, he's 43 years old, married with 3 kids. We still communicate quite often and visit with each other. And the other thing that I'm involved with Big Brothers and Big Sisters is bowling for kids' sake. I've been involved with that for about 32 years and have raised over $71,000 for them. Another accomplishment I feel is the disc golf course that's down in Kiwanis Park. I took it upon myself to work with an outside company, and we designed that course. I took that design to the Park and Rec Committee, got their approval on it, and then I went out and raised funds from businesses and local organizations to sponsor holes. Currently, there's 9 holes, 9 baskets down there, and a 10th one for practice. There was enough money to have money left over for maintaining those baskets, and it ended up the tee boxes were an Eagle Scout project for a local scout. So it's pretty nice to see people down in the park using that.
Thank you so much, Jean. Jean, the first question goes to you. What made you interested in running for council?
Well, I have a passion to help people and make a difference. Being on the council, we are dealing with people's money. We have to maintain parks, we have to maintain streets while maintaining taxes. We've been working on the Tecumseh redevelopment project since 2014, and there's been a lot of groups involved with that. That particular building will be going down sometime this spring, early summer. The next step is to develop that property, and it's important to me to remain on the council so I can see that project through to the end.
Great, thank you so much. Same question to you, John. What made you interested in running for council?
Over the years, things have changed in the city of New Holstein, and I don't really totally agree with some of it. I've lived here a long time, and I love this city, and I believe that my knowledge will help make the city better. The city has been good for me. I've worked here, I've lived here, I've purchased items in the city. It's time for me to pay it forward to the city.
Great, thank you so much. Sorry for that interruption as well. All right, so the second question starts with you, John. What skills and assets would you bring to our local government?
Well, I was a supervisor in a manufacturing firm for 10 years. I was a part owner of the Red and White restaurant and started a catering business for 12 years. I was head of the bargaining committee at Tecumseh for about 5 years and was in 2 contract negotiations. I was president of the local 1259 for 4 years. I went back to school when Tecumseh closed and got an associate degree in business management. I volunteered many times for different organizations in the Holsteins, Big Brothers. I ran Little League tournaments. I coached Little League through my life. In summary, I have experience in leadership, manufacturing, and business, and I believe that would be a big plus for the council.
Great, thank you for that. All right, Jean, what skills and assets would you bring to our local government?
Well, I've been an accountant my entire career. So for over 35 years, I've been an accounting manager or a controller for several companies. And I've helped run those companies very successfully. In those companies and in my role, I've had to help develop budgets, balance those budgets, and make sure people maintain those budgets. It's important for me to be a good leader and a good teammate. The decisions that the council make have to be made as a team. I think it's important that we listen to the citizens, we gather all the information that we can get, and make the best decision for the majority of the people. I have served on several committees for the council. Some include the commission, the utility commission, the negotiation committee, the human resource committee, and the finance committee. So with that background, I've got a very good understanding of both the city and the utilities.
Excellent, thank you. Jean, with many things facing small communities like ours today, which key issues do you think council should primarily focus on?
The first key issue is to rebuild the police department. The Police and Fire Commission is currently looking for a new chief. Once that new chief is hired on and working, it will be his responsibility to hire additional officers. Another issue is the redevelopment of the Tecumseh property. There's been a lot of people who designated a lot of time and effort to get that project going and to the point where it is right now. The council needs to continue to work with the Community Development Authority to look at the options for that property. The options down there are really endless. Another key issue is to create a community that attracts new families and provide housing for the aging. We need to work with developers to let them know what property is available and what areas of the city, be it in a TIF district or a private land, is available. And of course, use the Tecumseh redevelopment area for expansion.
Great, thank you. John, same question to you. With many things facing small communities like ours today, which key issues do you think council should primarily focus on?
Well, we need to change the people. We need to change the label that people are saying about our city, that we are a bed and breakfast city. We are not a bed and breakfast city. We need to bring businesses and people to live here. We should not be raising the taxes. We should be order depletion of services. We should be looking at what we can consolidate from other cities. Maybe there's something in a piece of equipment that Kiel only uses once a year and the Holstein uses only once a year. Maybe we can rent it from them and not own it. we should look into service that are provided right now and see if they're a warrant to keep or modify. Example, large pickup for refrigerators, and that is on a Saturday. You always quit it at either 11 o'clock or 12. Why not 1 or 2? Because there's quite a few people in the city that work on Saturdays, and they might work till noon. If you shut it down by noon, they can't participate in getting rid of their junk or treasures. We should be looking for, any city is looking for large manufacturing, but I think we should be concentrating on small manufacturing, anywhere from 1 to 10 people or more, because it's easier to get a small company in than a large one. And that small company will grow because as you looked at, ARP started with few employees, MB started with few employees, the company started with few employees, and they grew to enormous factories. So if we could somehow get small manufacturing companies to come into the city of Holstein, it would definitely make them grow, and that way we're putting out a business sign, open for business sign.
Great, thank you so much. All right, John, do you have any project or idea that you would like to introduce to the council that would better the community?
Well, no project at this time, but an ideal, the biggest idea is that the thought is not already there. If it's not there, it should be implanted in the council. Just because we always did it that way doesn't mean there are no other ways of doing things. We need to look outside the box.
Okay, thank you. Jean, do you have any project or idea that you would like to introduce to the council that would better the community?
Well, we need to continue working on the 3 projects that I had mentioned earlier. And then we've worked with Honeymoon Acres to abandon part of Ford Drive and purchase property up in the TIF district. And that has helped that company grow, or that business grow, very much. We've also worked with other companies, especially Quick Trip, when they built their new building downtown. We were, as a council, worked with them to help acquire the property, get it zoned correctly, and get permits through as quickly as we could. So that was an efficient project for them. Another area I think that we need to really concentrate is the downtown district. Several years ago, there was a development plan set up for the downtown area. I think we need to bring that development plan back and look at what amenities citizens want, and just develop that area and grow the downtown area.
Excellent, thank you so much. All right, Jean, how do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in our city?
Well, currently all council meetings are open to the public. First of all, I'd encourage people to come to those meetings. The only time they're not open to the public is when we're talking about labor negotiations or purchase of properties. So the best way that I can think of getting information out to the people is to provide them with where they can get the information. We need to provide them with what internet sites and what printed matter is out there that they can find and read and get the information, or call their local representative.
Excellent, thank you. John, same question. How do you plan to involve residents in the decision-making process in our city?
Well, I will provide them with my email and phone numbers, and hopefully they will contact me when they want to know what is going on or have problems or suggestions. And I encourage them to come to the meetings when the COVID allows it.
Excellent, thank you so much. All right, I love this question. John, if you received a $1 million grant to use for the city any way you wanted, what would you do with it and why?
Well, I would use that money to promote manufacturing at the old Tecumseh site. That site isn't really set up for businesses like grocery stores or anything because it's off the beaten path. But for manufacturing, it would be good. Storage garages or whatever in that type business. The more people working in the city brings traffic to the businesses where they might buy gas, food, or stop at the local hardware store. You build on that base and the service business will follow.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Jean, same question. If you received a $1 million grant to use for the city any way you wanted, what would you do with it and why?
I would use that money for community development and upgrading the downtown area. There are a lot of distressed and dilapidated buildings down in that area. We need to get those back on the tax roll. That money could be used to give people, the building owners or new developers coming into town, incentives to get those buildings improved for housing and business growth and get those back on the tax roll. And of course, expand on the Tecumseh property development.
Wonderful, thank you. And Jean, final question. What are your favorite places to spend time in our city?
My favorite place to spend time is Kiwanis Park. In the summertime, it's full of youth sports and family activities. Lots of hustle and bustle down there. We have a beautiful aquatic center that people can use. It's always enjoyable to go down and see that. Use a disc golf course. I enjoy doing that. And I also do a lot of walking. So walking through the paths of the prairie and the Rhinic Woods area is very enjoyable to me. And during the wintertime, I do snowshoeing. So I use the park for snowshoeing. And it's always just a very beautiful area to be in.
Excellent. Thank you so much. John, same question. Where are your favorite places to spend time in our city?
Well, I have to pick the park system too, Gene. I think the city has a fantastic park with the Civic Park, where the Fireman's Picnic is. We have ballparks up there, the Kiwanis Park, the ballpark, soccer fields, the disc golf, Optimist Park, where you have the snow hill meeting session. I think it's beautiful, it's peaceful, and people are using the facilities. So it's really nice to see that because the clubs donate a lot of time and money to get our parks in this system, in this condition, and I'm glad to see people are using them.
Excellent. That was all of the questions I had for you. And I appreciate so much that you both arrived here today. One of the things I kind of told the other candidates in this is I wanted so badly to affirm some of your answers along the way. You're just saying wonderful things. I'm so excited to see such passion for the community. I wish your wards luck in selecting, and I wish both of you luck in the race. And so thank you, gentlemen, so much.
Thank you, Dee, for organizing this forum.
Yeah, of course, of course. Have a wonderful night. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.